It seemed like when we resumed play and there were 30 holes left, Koepka with that 4-shot lead over Jon Rahm, that it was going to be big game Brooks marching to his 5th career major. Paige, we haven't seen Brooks lose a 54-hole lead in a major before. So what do you pull from what unfolded?
It felt certain, which nothing at Augusta National is certain. It's a golf course that can hobble anybody. It's demanding on every single shot. You cannot take a break. So it's understandable that leads can be lost, but it looked certain because Brooks Koepka, when he won the 4 major championships, he had everything in control, and it looked so solid the first several days. But I do think over the last couple of years, there have been moments in major championships coming down that Sunday where he's had a chance and not been able to capitalize. If you look at his record and what he's done in the final round, when he's gone on to win, he's played great golf. He hasn't lucked his way into winning the major championships. You go back, let's start at the bottom. Shoots 70, finish. This is when he's within 5 shots of the lead in major championships. Shot 70, 67, 69, 66, 70. Then it starts to get a little funky at that 2019 PGA Championship. He did go on to win, but he had a 7-shot lead at one point and ultimately won by 1. Hey, a win is a win. But was it reflective of maybe what's to come? You throw in the last 4 major championships when he's been within 5 of the lead, 75, 69, 74, 74. Kiowa stands out, as well as the 2020 PGA when Colin Morikawa won, and he had made some brash statement that may or may not have been a slight to Dustin Johnson and went on to shoot 74 on that Sunday as well. I'm not saying it has to be a thing, but it might be a thing with Brooks Koepka trying to finish off golf tournaments. And I say that only when you compare it to how he's been able to do it in the past. It felt certain to me, even though, again, it was Augusta National and anything can happen because of the record that he had. But when I dug a little deeper, it seemed that maybe he hasn't taken advantage of those opportunities on Sunday in the recent years the way that he did in the past.
Wait, you think he's losing this aura of invincibility based on what Paige just laid out?
I think the aura of invincibility is tough to judge when you're not playing against the best in the world week in and week out. I think that he didn't have a lot of reps coming in. I think that he, by his own admission, had been injured. He had not been fully healthy and capable of playing the kind of golf that he knows he can play. And I want to go back to a point he made about the live players. And we talked about this before the show. There were 18 live players in the field at the Masters this week out of a total of 88. Take 30 of those players that have no chance of winning. You've got 18 players out of 58 that might legitimately be able to contend. That's pretty good math. That's about 1/3 of the field. So we shouldn't be surprised by that regard that there were several who played seeing 3 in the top 5, nobody predicted, but all those guys had experience either by winning the Masters or by playing well in major championships. So my point is that I don't think we can draw any conclusions about how well those guys are playing because they're playing in that small bubble without a cut. We don't really know how good they are until we see them at major championships. And I think Koepka makes a rather compelling case that he does still have it, even if he didn't have it on Sunday.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard, and you throw in the world rank, and that's what made it so tough on our end to assess the state of these guys' game. And you look at the OWGR for the Masters finishes. Jon Rahm, of course, world #1. The live guys, the ranking as of Monday following the Masters. So a big jump. I think partially here it's actually the jump that these guys made and not 100% congruent with where their world rank is. But for Brooks Koepka, it was hard to get a gauge on how impressive or what state of his game Koepka would be in coming into the Masters. I think if you look at it historically with Brooks Koepka and the run he had in 2017 and 19, there have been 6 golfers since 1990 who won 3+ majors in a span of 3+ years or less. Koepka, the most recent to do it, 2017-19. You had Jordan Spieth, 15-17, winning 3, and then Rory won 4, 2011 to 2014. All 3 of those guys now have major droughts.
Yes.
You would think maybe Koepka the best equipped, but the longer this happens, the more scar tissue you get when you come up short. And those memories of your success are drowned out by your more recent failures. So you wonder with Koepka, is it really just now I'm healthy and I played poorly on Sunday? Or is it, this is starting to be my recent body of work. And I don't know why I haven't found it when I've needed it. Because when I needed it, 2017 through 2019, it happened every time.
You have to speak it into existence, right? So if he's going to tell himself, I haven't played well because I'm hurt or I've been hurt, then that provides him a little bit of cushion as to why he wasn't playing well. You have to talk yourself into it. And I think he does believe that he can play at this level week in and week out at major championships. He's got opportunities coming up for the rest of this year. And as far as, we talked about it earlier in the show, there's a window. There's a window of opportunity to contend in major championships and win major championships. And as well as, for example, Rory McIlroy is playing right now, his window is shrinking just because he's getting old. Time is undefeated. And that window is getting tighter and tighter for him. I think of those three that you mentioned, I think that Koepka has still the largest window based on the fact that he hasn't been healthy and he's got a lot of opportunities coming up.